At the start of this year, I thought I'd just take a step back and look back at last year and try and work out why last year wasn't a good year for me compared to many of the others. And I came down to one reason, and that was what I focused on throughout the course of the year. You see, I wasn't well last year, and I'm still not as healthy as I could be. But I've had a whole 12 months where my health has played a big role in how I've thought. And what I did, I've focused on that this whole year. You see, I've got this channel, and it's supposed to be optimistic, it's supposed to be uplifting, and it's supposed to be encouraging. At least that's what I tried it to be. And with all my situation health-wise going on in the background last year, I focused on that. You would say it's fairly reasonable to focus on your health. But what I did was focused on what I didn't have, or what was wrong rather, than what was going right in my life. Mentally, I was getting dragged down. And so I'd come on the channel and I would talk about the things that I talk about, the life lessons, the things that I've learned, and the way that you could take that, what I've talked about, use it in your own life and help you feel better and move forward. Except it wasn't doing it for me because I kept focusing on what was wrong. What I didn't realize is that the effect that it had on me was pulling me down. And although I try to keep as authentic as I can on this channel and be me, what you saw last year wasn't the me that I want to be, because the things that were going on in the background were affecting my everyday life. And you'll find this the same for you. If you got something going on in your life and it's there in the background day after day, it could be the lack of money, it could be a relationship breakdown, it could be your health like it was in my case, then you're going to find that it affects everything around you. And I talk about gratitude all the time on this channel. If you've been around it a long time, you will talk about the fact that I'll write down something every day that makes me feel good about the day. And I'd still do that. And I still find something to be grateful about every day. However, because in the background, my health situation was taking its toll on me, that also affected what I was writing and what I was grateful for. I found there were too many days last year where the only thing I felt grateful for was the fact that I'd woken up that day. And I should have had that an alarm bell going off and saying to me, this isn't right. But because I wasn't noticing what was going on in my life so much, the background became the foreground. It became the thing that showed you that I wasn't myself. And it's a very easy thing to talk about and tell you what you should do about it, but it's harder to do, as I found out myself. So I wasn't focusing on the right things. And I needed to look at what was going on in my life in order to find a way to go forward. And it took me until this year, the start of this year, when I looked back at last year, to realize what was going on. And the problem for me is that I'm one of those heart on my sleeve kind of guys. If I'm happy, you will know it. You can see it written in my face. If I'm not happy, you will know it because you can see it written in my face. You can tell it by the way I talk. I noticed last year I moaned more than I normally do. I had a little rant about how YouTube wasn't growing and this and that. And it was stuff that normally wouldn't bother me because I'd be focusing on what was right going forward. And so I knew that something was wrong. And this is what happens to a lot of us. The things that go on in your life can overcome you. It can make you emotional. And when you're feeling emotional, you say things and you do things and you make decisions that aren't right for you. We all have this up and down in our life. And last year was one long down with regard to my health. In December, we found out what they think it is, and I've got tests to go to take it further. And do you know what the funny thing was? When they told me that they thought they knew what it is, and they told me the steps that we'd have to take going forward, I felt like a relief. The weight was taken off of my shoulders, and it allowed me to free that up. And it gave me a bit more definition, if you like, because before I didn't know what was happening and I was worrying about the situation, and it was being brought forward into everything that I do. But what it did to me, as I look back and see it, it put me into panic mode. And panic mode showed to everybody in front of me. I look at this YouTube channel as a way of passing on good stuff to help you. But if you are looking at me and I'm trying to tell you these things that are truths in my life, things that have happened and lessons that I've learned along the way, but my demeanor is telling you something's wrong, everyone can see it. And that will be the reason I'd say my channel didn't grow. But let's put it in your normal life. Let's change this around. Supposing, like I said, something's happening in your life and you have to go forth each day into the working world, perhaps you're still working, and you have to go and do your job. And you've got to try and put that in the background and focus on the things that are right. And it's something that we all need to do. We have to learn to get our emotions in order. We need to learn to get our focus straight. I finally feel like it is again. When I look back on last year and saw the situations that were going on, I didn't realize how much things were pulling me down. And because I was allowing my health to overcome everything else, it was making me look differently at things and not believing really the things that I was talking about. It made me feel like a usurper, like someone pretending to be someone else. But I didn't realize that until I started to look back. So sometimes it's really good for you to just take a few steps back and see the bigger picture. And what I've realized is I know my health is still not where it should be, but we've got a plan moving forward. We'll take that, and they've told me that we can sort it out and I'll be fine. So that's lifted my spirits again. And it's got me thinking about the things I want to do. There's a lot of things that are going to happen on this channel this year. Things are going to change. And my hope is that if you've got something going on in your life in the same way as me, that you can just take that time to step back, take a look at the bigger picture, and try and find the positive in your life. The things in your life that are holding you back, the things in your life that are making you feel less happy with the way things are going on. If you let them overtake you, if you let them sit on your shoulders and weigh you down, they too will make your life feel interminably long and not being how you want it to be. Once you realize what the problem is and you can work out what the answer to it is, you're on your road forward again. And it's going to take a step at a time. And the things in your life that are wrong will work themselves out. And if you keep going and keep looking for the answers, then you'll find your way out. But if you stick with it, and if you have hope in your heart that you can still move forward, then you've got it sussed, you know. You'll be fine. That's it from me for today. It was supposed to be a quick video. It's turned out a bit longer than that. But I will be back very soon with a different video. And let's look forward to the coming year. I'll see you.